Hi, everybody, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 31 of Power Networking Media's weekly feature program, Spotlight on Small Business. I'm your host, Moshe Klein. Spotlight introduces you to successful small business owners who share content and information that you don't want to miss. Today, I'm so pleased to welcome my friend and networking partner, Dill, to the program. Lee owns a company called Lead Research, a little play on her name. And I'm just so happy to have you here. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, Lee, to join us.
Well, thank you, Moshe. I really appreciate your inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, and I'm so happy to share you with our listeners and our small business
Sure.
networking partners. You and I have spoken a few times, and I think you know how passionate I am about small business and what Lead Research offers. I think is so important for small business owners to be aware of. So, Lee, why don't we start out with you telling us a little bit about your company and a sort of your background, what brought you to where you are today and how can your company help small business owners?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you. Basically, when I was in my corporate life, I was working mostly in marketing and sales and some advertising. And at one point, when I worked for a company in Los Angeles, because I'm initially from the East Coast, but I worked from home for a number of years. So I've been able to live in a number of different places, which has been really nice because I meet a lot of people. And while I was with this one company in particular, part of the responsibilities I had was to hire, train, and manage people who worked sort of as an inside sales team in the company for our field sales, which were all over the country. And they generated leads, made calls, and scheduled appointments. So it was really great because I had an opportunity to expand on my experience at that point. And I guess it was sometime after that, I thought to myself, I really like doing that because a lot of times the salespeople appreciated having the connections made for them ahead of time to qualify the leads, keep their sales pipeline full, and to generate those appointments for them. So I thought to myself, well, I kind of like doing that. So I did. I eventually started getting my own clients. And I would say probably since the year 2000, I have been doing this for companies all over the country. And with that, one of the things that they really enjoy is the fact that they don't have to pick up the phone that much. They do for follow-ups because they should once an appointment is set. But a lot of times, you know how it is, you just get busy. They don't want to do that. So they would rather have someone like myself with the experience to be able to talk to the target markets for them ahead of time. So
Lee, I think I mentioned to you, if I didn't, I'll tell you now, as an owner of an accounting firm, tax season is our Christmas season. It's when the phone doesn't stop ringing. So that period of time is a time when, oh my gosh, everybody's coming out of the woodwork. But our business is the exception to the rule. I've been in business for so many years. I work with small business owners. Most of them are truly waiting for the telephone to ring. And what Lead Research does for small business owners is help the telephone to ring or to actually manage those calls and those appointments when the phone does ring. So give us an example of what you do on a daily basis, how you actually work to help small business owners generate leads and manage their appointments.
Sure, absolutely. Well, one of the background parts of it is to make sure that I'm helping to establish a relationship with a prospect. And there, you don't want to just call somebody up and start babbling about features and benefits. You want to find out what their pain points are, what their needs are, what their concerns are, and have a discussion and let them develop a trust, pretty much. So what I do is to make sure in the very beginning of setting up a campaign for a company is to make sure that they have either a database, whether it's in a CRM or an Excel spreadsheet, and then that way they can hone in on the targets that they want to reach. And then I will call those people and make sure that I try to reach the decision makers, and also to have a conversation about what it is that keeps them up at night for the most part. And then you slowly introduce how my client would help them to solve those problems. And then by doing that, if there is an interest and you can see that it's going to the next level, then I schedule the appointment with either the business owner that is my client, or if they have a sales force, then someone there would take over at that point after it's scheduled.
Lee, I can't believe it, but we're very quickly running out of
Oh
time.
my goodness. Okay.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it seems like you just start the conversation and boom,
Sure.
it's time to pull the plug. But I do want to squeeze in one last question, something you touched on, which I think is mission critical to talk about very briefly, of course, and that's the issue of trust. You
Right.
know, there are many businesses offering the services that Lead Research offers, but who are these people, and who would I trust my client list to? Who would I want to represent my firm? Would it be somebody that just sent me some kind of social media contact that I don't know? Or would it be somebody like you that I've come to know, come to trust, come to respect? Tell us how Lead Research and how Lee Dill, the owner who I'm privileged to speak with now,
Sure.
properly represents small business owners.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things I've always enjoyed is working with small businesses and also entrepreneurs, in particular startup companies, because they need help. They really don't have the time, especially if they are a solopreneur. They don't have the time to do everything, although that's what they are doing. So when I help them, usually when I'm reaching out to someone as a prospect for myself, I develop a conversation with them, try to get acquainted. I don't go in and just sell to somebody when I call them. And when I'm even on LinkedIn and I send a message or a connection request, I want to get to know my connections. I don't believe that people should just, start off, well, I do this and I do that, and, so on. But I think that that's part of the importance of setting this all up. And also with larger organizations, you have to be careful because they have a high overhead, so their prices will be higher. And also small businesses are struggling these days. There are so many challenges that we're all facing. So they don't have huge budgets that, they can afford to spend for large campaigns.
Thank you, Lee, for
Sure.
explaining that. My producer is giving me an ugly face, which is the signal that we are indeed out of time. So I want to thank you again for being a guest on our program today, sharing some really priceless information that small business owners need to hear. If any of our viewers, Lee, would like to reach out to you one-on-one for a free and confidential consultation about how your business might be able to help theirs, what's
Sure.
the best way for them to reach you?
Probably my email address, which would be Lee, Lee, at Lead Research, LEED, research.com. And I do have a website, of course, leadresearch.com. So they can look at that for more information.
And I hope that they do. This has been another fun and informative episode of Spotlight on Small Business. If you'd like to be a guest on Spotlight, just send an email to team@powernetworkingteam.com and we'll make arrangements for that interview right away. Until next time, good luck and good networking. Thanks again, Lee.
Thank you, Moshe. Take